Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story from Butterscotch West 7243 and says, am I the arsehole for not telling my kids the real reason why me and their father divorced years ago? I, female 35, have two teenage daughters, 18 and 16, with my ex-husband 37. We were together until my daughters were 8 and 10, when I found out my husband had been cheating on me for almost 3 years. Before finding out, I already checked out the relationship because while he was out with other women, I had to do 100% of the childcare plus work a full-time job, so I never had time to myself. We did try to make it work, but I just didn't love him anymore. So in the end, we divorced. We split everything down the middle. We both had 50-50 custody since he started shaping up into a decent father. We both decided that we would not tell our children the real reason because I wanted my daughters to have a good and healthy relationship with their dad. My ex-husband did end up marrying the girl he cheated on me with, but I harbored no hard feelings. I just wanted her to treat my girls right. Fast forward now, my ex-husband and his wife have 2 sons, 7 and 5, and I'm married to my husband, 40, and I'm currently 6 months pregnant with another girl. We all get along well, and there are no hard feelings towards anybody. Sometimes when I take my girls out, I take their brothers, and when me and my husband and I need alone time, they will take the girls. Recently, my daughters started putting together the pieces using their 7-year-old brother's birth date, and when my and their father's divorce was finalized. I and their father didn't know they were doing this, but we did think it was weird that they asked us about our divorce until yesterday. Both of my daughters confronted me when I came home from work. I did try to deny it, but in the end, I told them what happened. They asked me why I didn't tell them, and I said because it was none of their business what happened in a previous marriage. Everyone is happy, and that's what matters. This caused a big fight of them claiming it was their business, and now they're upset with me, but also have been ignoring their father, which is hurting him and his family. Am I the arsehole? Edit, a lot of you guys are saying that my girls aren't dumb and they would have found out. They aren't, but I didn't think they would try to go in depth of what happened in me and their father's marriage. The reason after the divorce was always that we didn't love each other anymore, but we loved them. Opie then did edit the post the next day and said, I'm not going to try and tell my girls how to feel at all. I just don't want them to have a thought in their head. What if my dad didn't cheat? Maybe we would still be together. Which isn't true. I want them to understand that regardless of if their dad was faithful, we would have divorced. We were young and we thought that you were supposed to marry the person you had kids with. Of course, we loved each other, but as we grew older, we realized we just had different plans for life. My ex and I did decide that we would sit them down later today and have a chat. So people were asking OP questions, and one of the questions brings up a bit about OP's past and says, yes, I had divorced parents. I haven't seen my father since I was 6, so it was just me and my mother. I was always happy when my mother was in relationships, even if they only lasted a few months, especially since her partners would always make sure I didn't go without. Yes, I know the divorce affected them, but the cheating shouldn't. When they divorced, they had a therapist. My 16-year-old still goes, but my oldest stopped going. Someone says not the arsehole, but the girls have a right to know and process on their own. Opie says I know I should stay out of it, but I don't want them to do something they would regret. I don't want them to take their anger out on their little brothers, especially since they look up to them. Opie explains about why she thought it wasn't necessary for them to know, and says, I understand what you are saying, but what I meant is being upset isn't going to change anything at all. It's going to make them upset and bitter towards people who love them so much. Their father and their stepmom would walk through fire to make sure they were okay, and I don't want them to burn bridges just because they are thinking about the what ifs. Yes, their dad cheated, but he was in his 20s and he's a completely different person now that he's reaching his 40s. Yes, it's okay to be upset and confused, but in the end, I don't want them to dread over it. Me and their dad both thought it wasn't necessary or age appropriate for them to know about their cheating. Even still, they now have 2 perfectly healthy relationships to look up to. If they ever need to co-parent with future partners and also have a healthy example to put the kids first. NOP explains about more why she doesn't feel betrayed over the cheating. And she says, he didn't destroy the family unit. It was already destroyed. Him cheating didn't hurt me. I can see it. The kids and possibly their relationship. Okay, why are people telling me the reason why they think I fell out of love? I didn't care that he didn't put time into me. Maybe I should have wished he put more time into the kids so I could have had some time to myself. To me, it just feels like one of those situations where, regardless of how OP feels about the relationship and they think, it didn't hurt them at all, they didn't feel betrayed by it, they was going to get divorced anyway, I kind of feel that the kids did deserve to know, because the truth always seems to come out in these situations. I'm sure there's some situations where it doesn't, but the risk that it does come out and the damage it could do later on, where it's all these years of almost betrayal that they may see it as, the risk of that can be potentially devastating when you could have just told them initially. And of course they're going to be hurt by this now, that this is new to them. They've only just found out. They're going to be processing this. This is something that you finished with a long time ago. You can say, we've moved past this, things are great now. But for them, this is new. This is painful. I think the only thing you can do is sit down with them and really explain your feelings like you have here, and talk to them, and then allow them to process their feelings how they see fit, basically. But CDH says, as a counselor who admitted doesn't do a lot of marriage work, one thing that I think you're missing is that it is their business, at least emotionally. When we love someone, we don't want them to be hurt and betrayed. They obviously feel that dad hurt and betrayed you. It's also their business because maybe they were unhappy with a divorce and now dad broke up the family. Maybe validate them loving you, but explain your healing process and why you value their relationship with their father. LexG says, soft you're the arsehole for dismissing their feelings now. Understand why you didn't tell them, but now that they know, stop acting like they should just get over it. They could be upset at the life they could have had and the betrayal of their family by their father. You and your ex should try and help them process their emotions and not just stomp it down because you think everyone is happy with the outcome. Mary says you're the arsehole for not understanding why they're upset and invalidating their feelings. If your girls are in any way against cheating, you not disclosing to them what type of people their father and stepmother are makes them feel betrayed and hurt. You let them build a strong relationship with their stepmother based on lies. A stepmother who knowingly slept with and got pregnant by a married man. Kids can forgive their bio parents because those are their parents, but stepmother is no one to them. She's just a person who created life for her own bio kids, in which they're growing up with both parents in the same house. Well, your girls don't have that. And they didn't have that because of those two arseholes. MJ says, you're the arsehole for the stubborn dismissiveness now. I agree with your original decision not to tell them, but refusing to see or even try to understand their feelings now is the problem. The perspective of their father and who he is has been shaken to the core, and you're acting like they're not allowed to be hurt. If what you really want is for them to make peace with this, it needs to start with acknowledging that it is confusing, hurtful situation, and it's okay to be upset. They feel lied to, they feel betrayed, they feel the conflicting feelings of love for you both, and anger. If you won't even let them acknowledge their feelings then, how can they work through them? One more comment from Pinebox Waiting, who says not the arsehole. It would have helped no one for the girls to know what really happened. They were pretty crummy to come to you to verify what they already knew by counting months. They should have confronted their dad. Reiterate that your goal was always for everyone to get along as well as possible. Remind them that exactly nothing has changed in the family except that they now know their dad is flawed. Your ex needs to talk to them in person and answer their questions honestly. So OP does update the post and they said, hello, I decided to write an update, even though it's quite long. Today, my ex-husband, me and the girls were supposed to have a family chat, but he already had a family emergency concerning his wife because she had twisted her ankle at her 7-year-old son's soccer game. I hope she feels better. Anyways, they were understandably upset and took this as another sign that he was putting his new family over them. I didn't say anything and instead let them vent. I comforted them. From what my ex-husband is saying, we'd have to wait another time to have this conversation altogether. Regardless, I still wanted to talk to my girl tonight. At first, it was incredibly awkward and the air was filled with tension. I could feel that they didn't trust me and it hurt because it's my fault. I started talking and I first apologized for telling them that it wasn't their business. I reassured them that everything that happened in their home was their business, and I was truly sorry for making them feel like they didn't matter because they were the most important things that ever happened to me. At this point, my 16-year-old started to cry a bit, which made me start to cry because I know the news was a lot for her. I ended up telling them the reason why I kept it for so long, because I wanted them to have a good relationship with their dad. I didn't want them to worry about adult matters so young, especially when they already had a lot going on. I told them I just wanted to shield them from anything that could hurt them, which I then apologized for because in the end it was wrong and they deserved to know. I told them from now on I was going to be more open to any questions they had about me and their father's marriage. I also explained that I wouldn't tell them how they should move on when it comes to their dad, and I would support them if they needed time away from them. I did tell them that any anger they have towards their dad and stepmom, they should never take out on their brothers. They said they still love their brothers, but they said they didn't want to see their dad or stepmom right now. I asked them how they felt, and they are understandably upset and felt like they were easily replaceable, which broke my heart. I told them that their father has a lot to work on, but they can always count on me, and they could never be replaceable to me. At this point, we were all crying, and while we were hugging, they ended up asking how I felt, and I was truthful. I told them I was confused and didn't know how to feel. By this point, we were quiet. My 16-year-old was laying her head on my belly, while my 18-year-old was resting her head on my shoulder. I'm going to try to get my 18-year-old back into therapy. They do want to cut off their dad and stepmom, as a lot of you guys suspected, but they are afraid they won't see the boys anymore, which may be true. Regardless, I and my husband are 100% there for them. I'm very thankful for all the advice given. I was being completely selfish, which ended up hurting everyone even more. I don't know if I will make another update because I'm 80% sure the family talk with my ex-husband will not happen. And straight away in that update, I was like, what a stupid move by the ex-husband in this. I know that he went to attend the twisted ankle and, help her out with that, get her home, whatever. But whatever the time is, whatever else you got going on in the day, say that you need to get back to talk to your daughters. That was like a huge moment. That was the moment he had the chance to explain to his daughters, and he's just destroyed that. Which a little part of me in my head was also thinking, was it just an excuse not to attend that conversation? Was it all just an excuse? It may not have been, but, I still think that was a bloody stupid call. But what do you guys make on this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. And let's move on to another story, which does come with an update as well from RTA776 and says, am I the arsehole for insisting my pregnant sister switch bedrooms with me? Throw away because I don't want it connected with my main. My sister and I, both mid-20s female, I'm a few years older, share a house together. It was our parents' house and we both inherited it after they died. We have equal share/ownership of the house. The house has 4 bedrooms. One is the master room and has an ensuite and walk-in wardrobe. The other 3 just have built-in wardrobes. When we both moved back in after deciding that neither of us wanted to sell, we agreed that she could have the master suite and the 2 largest other bedrooms would both be mine. One has an actual bedroom, the other has a gaming room for me. Her last and smallest bedroom is a guest room. Her boyfriend's been living here for a while and she recently told me that she is pregnant. I'm not particularly looking forward to sharing a house with a screaming baby, but it's her house too, and she has every right to be here and raise her kid. Obviously, the baby will need a bedroom, and was expecting that to be the guest room. It is the smallest bedroom in the house, but it's still the same size as a standard bedroom. But my sister wouldn't go for that. She's insisting I move my stuff out of my games room so that can be the baby's room. I told her I'm not moving my stuff into the guest room, because that wasn't our agreement. But then she informed me that actually I won't be able to do that either, as she will still need a guest room, especially with the babies coming, as her boyfriend's family will want to visit. So I said fine, you can have my games room if you move into my room and give me the master room. She started crying and said that as a mother, she's going to need her own space and she deserves the master bedroom. I asked what she expected me to do, and she said I should just suck it up and keep all my crap in my own room. We're at an impasse, and I can't get her to come to a real agreement with me. She keeps calling me a huge bitch and says I should let her have both the master bedroom and my gaming room because she needs them more. Her boyfriend says I should just deal with it. That because I don't want kids anyway, I should just suck it up. My girlfriend, who also spends a lot of time here, is on my side and says my sister is being a spoiled, entitled little brat. Am I the arsehole? Edits, she can't buy me out. She doesn't have the money. We each got some money along with the house, but she wanted a fancy Range Rover, so most of hers went to that, and she can't get a loan because she's only working part-time at Macca's at the moment. I still have all my money plus some of my own savings, so I'll be having a discussion with her about buying her out. The house is located in a nice and expensive area, so what she gets from me but her half will be enough for her to buy an average 3-bedroom house in a cheaper area. Really don't want to sell if I can help it, as the house has been in the family a long time. I had to chuckle in the middle there where the boyfriend gives his little input about that you should just deal with it. Like he has a say in the matter. I was curious, is he actually paying anything towards it at all? And it was making me chuckle that she needs her space as a mother. Absolutely, you need your space, but you're going to need your space as well from, as you say, a crying baby. Holy moly. And I can only think about the future of this, how this could damage your relationship with your sister. I mean, it sounds pretty fragile right now. But what's it going to be like when the baby does turn up? What other things are going to be taken over in the house? Imagine the child getting older, kind of like toy storage and all that kind of thing. And I know OP said the house has been in the family a long time, but I couldn't help but think for myself that I would consider, selling up. Either you moving, her moving, buying each other out, or whatever. And if she doesn't agree to that, possibly it's time to sell, because is this what you want your future to look like? OP added a comment in the comments themselves and said, "Hi, it's OP. Unfortunately, she doesn't really have any money to buy me out. We both got some money along with the house, but she used most of hers to pay debts, go on a nice holiday and buy a car. I really don't want to have to sell the house. It's been in the family for a long time. I'll be standing my ground on this and not let her bully me into giving her my games room without getting something in return. I do have a lot of savings and can afford to buy her out though. So if she continues to be difficult, I'll consider offering to buy her share for slightly above market value. The house is in a really nice expensive area, so what she'll get from me potentially buying her out would be enough to buy her a nice 3-bedroom house in a slightly cheaper area." Someone asked a relevant question to OP. They said, "Info, why can't you take the spare bedroom to use as your gaming room and give her your gaming room for the nursery? You should each get 2 rooms, that seems fair to me. Edit, not the arsehole, and you shouldn't have to take the smaller room." OP says, the games room is a bit bigger than my bedroom, so if I gave her that and took the other 2, I'd end up with 2 smaller rooms and her with the 2 bigger ones, which is unfair. B, she won't allow me to have the spare room at all. We need a guest room apparently. I know she can't actually do that, but she won't accept that fact. Then another comment from OP which said, "Decided to give us both a few days to cool off before I talk with her about it again. But I'm going to have a discussion with her about buying her out and helping her find a new place to buy over the weekend." OP then updated the post and says, "I don't know how to do an update on the Am I the Arsehole sub, so I guess I'll just post it straight to my page for now. Hi guys, so this kind of blew the fuck up. Was definitely not expecting to get as big as it did. It ended up on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and freaking Newsweek. My cousin saw it, my aunts and uncles saw it, my friends saw it, my girlfriend's family saw it, and even my sister saw it. I know a lot of people were wanting an update, so here you go." So I talked with her over the weekend. She actually did apologize for being such a brat, which surprised me. I guess when she saw it on TikTok, she came here and read through some of the comments and realized how unfair she was being. I made the offer to buy out her half and made sure to point out to her how nice it would be for her to be able to pick out a place for her family with her boyfriend, and how special it would be to have somewhere that's just theirs. She's never really been fond of the style of the family home. She prefers more of a modern style architecture than the old-fashioned Victorian style the house is. So I pointed out that she could find something she really loved. I explained that I'd be more than happy to help her with everything, from actually finding a place to the actual task of moving itself. Like I said, the house is worth quite a bit, so she'd be getting a lot of money for her half, and it will be enough to buy a house outright in a cheaper area, with some left over. When I say cheaper area, I don't mean a bad area. She'll still be able to buy it in a decent area, just not as nice as the current one. She said yes. She seems genuinely excited to start going house hunting, and I'm actually excited to go with her. We're going to talk to our lawyer next week, start to get things moving, as we both agree that the sooner this happens, the better. I know a lot of people were talking about her poor money skills, and to be fair, she's not the greatest with money. But she did have a better job before. Not an amazing job, but she was making decent money. But she decided to leave when she found out she was pregnant and picked some shifts at Macca's for now. But she's not sure if she wants to go back to her old work after the kid is born and gets a bit older. About her boyfriend, you're right in that he doesn't pay rent, but he really is in between jobs at the moment. He was going to uni to be a sports teacher while working at a sports store. He finished his degree recently and left his retail job, but is looking for a teaching job still. So happy ending. Yay! So, can we say communication wins the day on this one? Everyone happy with that? Let me know your thoughts as always. I really hope that, you know, sister and boyfriend get their finances sorted out and they get in a better position, especially when kid comes along. Things might get a bit tougher then. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, as always, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. The other day, I asked for you to share some pictures with me at Mark Narrations over on Twitter about your hobbies and stuff, and I was blown away. People were sending me them all night. I was laying in bed looking at the ceiling and my phone at the same time, seeing some crazy stuff going on. Had Ruth with her beautiful paintings, Stacy with her sticks doing this twirly stuff. It was absolutely amazing. Instantly wanted me to go and buy some so I can give that a go. Had Storm doing a bit of Pokemon shiny hunting. Oh, it's just absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for sending it, and please keep it coming. It does make me smile, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.